Congo, DRC, Kenya, Rwanda, South Africa, South Sudan, Sudan, Tanzania, Uganda, and Zambia participated. The meeting also involved guarantor institutions of the Peace, Security and Cooperation Framework, including the United Nations, the African Union Commission, the International Conference on the Great Lakes Region, and the Southern African Development Community. The head of state planted trees as a sign of conserving the environment. Moving on from that, King Charles III's coronation is the first of a British king since 1937 and is the religious confirmation of his accession as the death of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, last September 2022. King Charles and wife Camilla reached Westminster Abbey in Diamond Jubilee State Coach, drawn by 6 Windsor grey horses and escorted by members of the King's bodyguard, the household cavalry. Now, the coronation is being attended by just 2,000 people, a fraction of the more than 8,000 guests who crammed into Westminster Abbey for Queen Elizabeth II's crowning in 1953. Camilla will be crowned separately in a similar but simpler ceremony. King Charles has become the oldest British monarch to have the 360-year-old St. Edward's crown placed on his head as he sits upon a 14th century throne at Abbey. Rishi Sunak, British Prime Minister and practicing Hindu, read from the Bible as the head of the UK government. He described the coronation as a proud expression of UK history, culture and traditions.
Your Majesty, as children of the Kingdom of God, we welcome you in the name of the King of Kings.
I here present unto you King Charles, your undoubted king. Wherefore, all you who are come this day to do your homage and service, are you willing to do the same? God save King Charles. Receive the bracelets of sincerity and wisdom, token of the Lord's protection embracing you on every side. God save the King! God save the King! May thy servant Camilla, who wears this crown, be filled by thine abundant grace. Amen.
In more stories, performing artists and musicians have formed a federation and asked the government to expedite the process of formulating a law that regulates the music industry. The performing artists say that they don't benefit from their efforts because of the absence of a law that ought to regulate the music industry. The one-week training of artists took place in Mutundwe and was organized by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development.
The newly elected president of Uganda National Musicians Federation and CEO of Big Talent Idris Musoza, also known as Eddie Kenzo, says artists have been misused by some people and have not benefited from their sweat. Kenzo says that the federation is not affiliated to any political ideology, but rather meant to unite artists and performers to benefit from the industry.
This is a political free federation. Wano tewaliwo mu kibiina kyonna, wano buli omu alina right okugwa gy'agudde mu birowoozo bye ne mu ndowooza ze, naye wano tekiriiwo twogera eddoboozi limu lya ggwanga Uganda. Y'ensonga lwaki tuli wano ku lw'ebitone byaffe, ku lw'abaana n'abazzukulu.
The Vice President of Uganda National Musicians Federation, Sheba Kalungi, says that they have tried to fend for themselves, but their efforts have not been beneficial to them. Kalungi says that they would like to partner with the government for protection and develop the music industry.
Wankati fetukola atabalala nibatuwala ekyo kiri komadi twabana baffe balya ku kindi oba ffe tuli kati wemmene kakati amagulu nga siyinza kuzina ku stage ndiddamu okufuna yadde ekikumi maama ebintu bingi ebituluma tusaba tuyambe ate ekyo kimu ekigenda otuyamba copyright long time. Copyright osanga omwana nga kubuza ku office nga zokulabako nanzize kuleetera nange tuuke.
The director financing the federation, Moses Sally, also known as Baby Cole, says that the law formulation is at snail speed, yet it's crucial for the good of the music industry.
Okusookerera okwebaza mugululagadi kuba tubadde ku jjane ey'okuddamu okutereeza etteeka eryo era libadde lirina we lyatuuse nga leero we tukubye essimu batugambye nti eryatuuse lyazze mu ministry ya justice so nga mu meeting gye tusembyeyo okubaako entono okusaba kwaffe kubadde nti tusaba engeri gye lituuse omwo mu ministry back wa minister nga wosobola otukwatira ku kibooka mabega wa kabina ka minisita emisinde gy'otusuubizza. Yes.
Prime Minister Robina Nabanja assured the artists that the government will fast-track the copyright law to ensure that the industry is regulated.
Request you and your minister and the Minister of Constitutional Affairs and the Attorney General. I need this done next week.
However, Nabanja expressed concern that some artists and musicians are not trustworthy whenever they are hired to perform.
You know, sometimes mutawanya namu. Mwateseza n'omukyala Nabanja ogenda kujja saawa 7. Nojja saawa 10 ez'ekiro. Abamu mwekola mu accident noga nakubiddwa emmotoka naye nga alina kukyosesa ogenda okulaba ali ku TV enkeera kati ebintu ebyo ebimu nammwe bibakosa yes ffe bitukosa naye ate nammwe bibakosa you lose support so mbadde njagala mbasomeseemu you know I'm a teacher so ng'omusomesa dakiika mujja kukozesa.
The challenges faced by the old generation of artists who earned peanuts from their music influenced such market-oriented reforms so that the music industry is regulated.
Now, in more stories, market vendors, I beg your pardon, have been urged to desist from politicking and focus on improving their livelihoods through engaging in productive activities. The call was made by State House officials who had delivered President Yoweri Museveni's financial support to vendors who operate from Chikoma, Dembe and Watuba roadside markets. At least each of the 238 vendors received 100,000 as booster capital for their businesses. The beneficiaries mainly sell agricultural produce such as fruits and vegetables. Princess Pauline Nasolo, who led the team of officials from State House, told vendors that President Museveni is a God-given gift to Uganda who wishes well and cares for all citizens. She revealed to them that the president was aware that they yet to benefit from other government programs such as Parish Development Model and the MUGA. That is why he decided to intervene by extending direct financial support to them. Ms. Flora Kabibi, also an official from State House, tasked the beneficiaries to utilize the booster package well in that they can grow their businesses and look after their families. Mr. Juma Mukuye, the chairman of Chikoma Market, commended President Museveni for extending financial booster packages for them. He promised that they will invest boosters wisely so that they grow and sustain their small businesses. Now, environmental researchers from the 5 East African member states have agreed to join hands in the struggle to ensure mitigation and adaptation to climate change in the Lake Victoria Basin. Already an association dubbed the EAC's Researchers Forum has been formed. Dr. Masinde Wira, the Executive Secretary of the LVBC, is jubilant with the development, anticipating that if well coordinated, real-time solutions to climate change effects will soon be in abundance.
The formation of the East African Researchers Forum is the latest step towards realizing full East African community collaboration. During the just concluded meeting for regional environmental researchers, it was observed that climate change is a virgin sector that requires a lot of research, especially in areas of mitigation and adaptation.
Currently, we are witnessing lake level rises. At the same time, we are sure maybe we have more water in the lake. But the other drivers, maybe there's limitation loading. We don't know, maybe whether the rising, for instance, of water is because of a lot of water entering, or there are more sedimentation sands or sedimentation loads within the lake. Such kind of the gaps need to be answered. Therefore, this kind of research and the findings will help the region to have informed program and informed decision to make sure sustainable development is attained to.
To the participants, this move has been long overdue, considering the ever-worsening climate change effects characterized by extreme weather patterns.
Since the beginning of the East African community, I think this should have been the norm, sharing information, and I think that is part of the objective of the East African community.
You see, we are facing a lot of flooding, flash flood and the landslides which are killing so many people. As you know, we lost in Rwanda 130 person in one night. Even I know in Uganda also we have been losing some people. So we're trying to see what are really the real factor behind those issues.
Already, a number of thematic areas that require immediate attention have been identified, and to Professor James Okot Okum, the lead facilitator, this is enough to set the ball rolling.
As you might have heard in our deliberation, we talked about how do you make information that is worked on by scientists understandable to the other people who are supposed to implement. So we are going to research methods. You have to work with the communities because projects are implemented down there, not up. Up just gives direction and advice.
The Lake Victoria Basin Commission Executive Secretary is cognizant of the financial support from the different member states, though he is not shy to ask for more for the sustainability of the collaboration efforts.
For the East African citizens, we request to continue supporting the conservation agenda and then keeping our lake our good and very nice resource that we have, that is God given. Let us keep it and utilize it wisely, Mr. Starabray.
It is a fact that the negative effects of climate change disproportionately affect marginalized and rural communities within the Lake Victoria Basin by reducing the productivity of agriculture and abundance of fish in Lake Victoria and its tributaries. If not checked, it is feared that this will continue to negatively impact economic sectors within the Lake Victoria Basin that depend on water resources such as hydropower facilities and commercial fisheries. Dorcas Kimono.
Thank you so much, Dorcas Kimono. Uganda Business and Technical Examination Board has asked students to prioritize national examinations over internal ones while seeking to join an institution. Now, speaking at the 5th graduation of Uganda Christian Institute, the Deputy Secretary for NANS Uganda Business and Technical Examination Board, Geoffrey Kawanguzi, said many students are currently stranded with illegitimate papers.
Previously, different institutions examined their students internally, but along the way, the Ministry of Education and Sports has since barred the internal examinations for certificate and diploma courses.
As the examining and awarding
Uganda Business and Technical Examinations Board was then tasked to take over as the national examining body.
Parents, don't waste your money into taking our students to do internal exams with institutions that are not offering national exams. That certificate will stop at that gate. It will not go beyond the gate of that institution unless it is a national exam.
Geoffrey Kawanguzi was officiating the 5th graduation ceremony at Uganda Christian Institute for Professional Development in Lira City.
I implore you, the graduates, to desist from being lazy, since you are expected to redeploy those skills you acquired from the institution to the various communities that you will go back to.
At least 627 were awarded from the School of Professional Development, majority being female.
We have graduated, but the challenge is looking for jobs. These days in Uganda, there are no jobs.
Guys whom I work with, some of them are having masters, others are having bachelors. They sometimes outcompete me.
At the School of Nursing and Midwifery, 1,857 were passed out in the first graduation ceremony by the Executive Secretary, Uganda Nurses and Midwifery Examination Board. She charged the graduates to prioritize lives of people above self-need.
I, however, wish to caution you that the public will continue to assess you by watching what you deliver. Patients' care in the health facility is very important. You are aware that nursing is a calling from God. The practice of humility, gentleness, patience, love, and all the other soft skills, while with the patient, provides psychological healing and showers the patient's heart with joy.
Do not be satisfied with the status quo, because the world you are moving into is very competitive, and you need to give yourself a comparative advantage through further training.
Uganda Christian Institute is a private institution contributing to the development of human capital in the region with a sound Christian value to enhance self-reliance and service delivery. Ediolo, UBC
Thank you so much, Ediolo, and congratulations to all those that graduated. Now, education plays a key role in human capital development by empowering individuals to live a gratifying life. For children to achieve this, they need support from their parents, community school administration and leaders. Educans, an international Dutch NGO with financial support from European Union through Enabel, is supporting selected schools in central Uganda and Lango sub-region through the EduQ Up project. Setumba has a detailed report on the story.
Educans Uganda is implementing an 18-month pilot project, digital assessments and school improvement plans to enhance educational resilience in Uganda focusing on improving resilience in 218 primary schools.
This project is looking at 4 outcome areas. One of them is building school resilience. The second one is empowering the core primary teachers colleges through the CCTs, and the other one is empowering the district education offices.
The digital tool provides opportunity to schools to self-assess and jointly with stakeholders come up with actions for improvement.
As I talk now, we are seeing changes happening in the schools because we have empowered the community, we have empowered the parents to be able to participate and support teaching and learning processes at school level.
Issues of schools' infrastructure have been pointed out as many teachers are accommodated in leaking grass-thatched houses with no sanitary facilities.
Home is not all that very okay because it is leaking when it is raining, and even the latrine I have is not okay. There's already a crack on the floor and even the wall. So the things are not okay. We are not living in a conducive environment.
The chairman LC3 at Ongtiri sub-county in Kwania district, Patrick Onyum Okwang, says many of the school's challenges are championed by lack of responsibility on some of the stakeholders.
In a sense that when these people now know their roles and their responsibilities, automatically they will be doing their work and everything will now be improving.
Onyum Okwang says his council has come up with school improvement ordinance to address the increasing absenteeism among the learners.
And that is why of recent we came out with a bylaw that any child that we would come across dropping out of school, that child first of all is going to be detained. We look for the parents and the parent is arrested and the parent is charged 50,000 as a fine.
Patrick Onyum is again worried of the poor health services in the sub-county.
You imagine an entire sub-county with the 6 parishes, we are having only one health center. And this health center, as I speak now, it is about 25 kilometers away from this school.
Akelo Little Blessing, a pupil at Angolowelo Primary School, is concerned about the many challenges befalling fellow pupils.
We don't have our school nurse. We also do not have girls' private room for changing.
The 18-month digital assessment and school improvement plans to enhance education resilience in Uganda involve engagement sessions to dialogue on the obstacles to provision of quality education and formulate actions for improvement.
And we have taken a lot of things. First of all, this program is so good because it has opened the eyes of parents. In the past, parents didn't know that they are also supposed to help the school.
Mutonyi Hilda and Douglas Setumba, UBC.
The Batwa Pygmies people who were integrated from forest in 1992, where they had spent most of their lives, still facing a number of challenges hindering development. Now Batwa living in Sanuliro community camp in the southern part of windy impenetrable forest in Kisoro district want the government to allocate another piece of land to carry out agriculture, since the population has now increased to 30,000 households sitting on only 21 acres of land.
Sanuliro Batwa community, found in the southern part of Bwindi impenetrable forest in Kisoro district, are some of the former forest communities that are settled on 21 acres of land with over 3,000 homesteads in southwestern Uganda.
This is one of the settlements that used to live in Bwindi in 1991. The last evacuation was 1992. That's when the government of Uganda decided to evict them from the park. The reason why the government was doing that is that they wanted to do conservation, and they would not do conservation when these people were still living in the forest.
Children in the camp do not go to school since the available schools are not for the less privileged.
We are having over 300 Batwa, and 50% of them are kids. All of these kids, nobody has completed senior 4, Nobody has completed primary 7. All these children are here suffering.
They are still facing a challenge of being looked at as wild people of less importance, which has hindered their development where they have not been able to benefit in government programs for economic transformation due to the lack of civilized leaders to guide them.
Not because the government doesn't like them, but because their people, their leaders are not educated, they don't approach to the government offices so that they can be helped. They are living on 21 acres of land, and the population is about 300 people. The population is growing, but the land is not increasing.
Women and men carry out commercial crafts to earn a living, but they consume all the money in bars while children starve. The community only survives on God's favor and on tourists who come for gorilla tracking in Bwindi impenetrable forest who donate something to them.
Really impressed with the way they live. When I compare my own childhood or my own way of living, it's obviously two very different worlds. But one thing that we'll definitely take away from this experience is to maintain a relationship with the community and really introduce the Batwa culture across the UK through our travel partnerships.
The government, with other non-governmental organizations, have tried to change Batwa's well-being, but however, there is a lot of sensitization awareness campaigns that are needed to be done to aid the community to change their minds.
Mental health professionals have urged employers to pay attention to the concerns of their employees. They communicated this during a health camp organized by Kampala Victoria Lions Club for Luzira Upper Prison officers. Prison officers receive treatment and check-ups for non-communicable diseases including HIV and AIDS.
Over 100 prison officers from Luzira Upper Prison have attended a medical camp where they were tested for various diseases. As the assistant nursing officer at Luzira Upper Prison, Esther Tukunda explains.
We started with blood pressure, we did their height, we did their weight, we tested for syphilis, we tested for diabetes, we tested for HIV and malaria. But most of them, they are doing well. However, few, their blood pressure is a bit increased.
President Kampala Victoria Lions Club, Dr. Emmanuel Chisame, explains the intention of the health camp.
We have been talking to them, examining them. We have got a technical medical team we have come with. They are checking them and we are giving them appropriate advices and health education. We are even checking for HIV. Those ones with HIV, we are still telling them what needs to be done.
Dr. Chisame also highlighted the benefits of going for regular checkups, especially on non-infectious diseases.
When you check for your body mass index, your weight, and then you check for your pressure, blood pressure, you check for your blood sugar levels, you check for whether you have syphilis, you check whether you have HIV. All those things, when we discover them in the early stages, they are easy to prevent. They are very easy to prevent. Sometimes we don't even put you on drugs. They just advise you on what to eat and they will go.
Doctors, however, urge the employers to pay attention to the issues affecting their employees to avoid unnecessary crashes.
We've done this hand in hand with the prison authorities. Our Commissioner General at headquarters is aware, other bosses in charge of staff welfare, they are aware. And the results we shall get from here, of course, we shall share with them, not disclosing the individuals, but we shall tell them what we have found out. And it will encourage us so that when the staff goes with any problem, it can easily be addressed too, than chasing and tossing them away from their offices.
We have talked to them and said, once you have issues with your bosses, sometimes the bosses underestimate it. They think it is not as serious as it is. But it's very good for you to be open and come out and share it with a friend or with your bosses. We also talk to the bosses, find out what is happening to your staffs, especially the junior staffs, so that you know what is happening, so that you can solve the issues. Because certain issues don't require a lot of money.
Atukunda Esther says diseases including high blood pressure and diabetes are the most diagnosed among the officers.
Psychosocial support, because most of them, when we are trying to interact with them, someone tells you things are not fine, I'm not okay here, which you really need. They need counseling, they need emotional support, and that really can help them to bring their hormones down and they will be okay. Because others, their diet is not good. Someone tells you their eating habits is not really fine. Whatever they eat, they don't exercise to burn those fats, which is a threat to their health. Because basically with blood pressure, it goes hand in hand with exercises, with diet, with emotional support. Because as long as you're stressed, then your body is not fine at all.
Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
The two-day high-level regional meeting focused on improving access to childhood cancer treatment and care held in Kampala has ended with stakeholders calling for implementation of research findings and policy options to ensure that children with cancer are reached. In 2018, the World Health Organization launched a global initiative on childhood cancer to increase survival of children with cancer to 60% by 2030.
Regional stakeholders in the cancer treatment and care have concluded that two-day high-level meeting in Kampala, and the focus rotated around improving access to childhood cancer treatment. The meeting was organized by Uganda Cancer Institute in collaboration with the Access to Childhood Cancer Essentials Initiative. Minister for Health Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng officiated at the meeting on the theme Strengthening Access to Childhood Cancer Medicines in East Africa. Minister Acheng acknowledged that access to cancer treatment is still a challenge not only in Uganda but Africa as a whole.
Each year, 429,000 children and adolescents develop cancer worldwide. 80% of these live in low and middle income countries, and 40%, nearly 171,000 in Africa. And as you heard from the Executive Director, while cure rates for childhood and adolescent cancer in high-income countries exceeds 80%, in low and middle-income countries where the greatest burden of childhood cancer thrives, this figure is less than 20%. There are immediate and underlying causes for this huge disparity.
In 2018, the World Health Organization launched a global initiative on childhood cancer to increase survival of children with cancer to 60% by 2030.
The goal of the initiative is to save 1 million more lives by 2030. WHO works with more than 100 global partners to support more than 50 governments worldwide through the Global Initiative for Childhood Cancer to develop a high-quality cancer centers and regional satellites that ensure early and accurate diagnosis and effective treatment for children with cancer.
We got funding externally of 7.5 million euros, and the counterpart from the government of Uganda, if you add to that, brings that to maybe about 10 million so far injected in the construction and operationalization of the Regional Cancer Center in Gulu.
One of the policy options hinted on is the collaboration in the procurement of cancer medicines by the East African countries.
Then the second initiative, which we're having a very serious conversation, is full procurement. We're thinking that some of the medicines the East African community could pull resources together and procure as one. Because once you procure in bulk, you can also negotiate lower prices and we benefit from economies of scale.
Although children have more chances of survival from cancer, most of them delay to access treatment due to late diagnosis. Adia Nakuti, Robert Katamba, UBC.
Students at Clark International University have held guild elections. Ronald Bachetao won the guild election race for the year 2023-2024, and Bachetao outcompeted Kakuru Bernard and Kasaga Emmanuel in what one would term as a tight race. Take a look.
It's good to be very calm. Okay. Let's remain very calm. We are the intellectuals, we are the elites, and at this point, I would advise that we move away from our emotions.
Clark International University students have completed guild elections for the year 2023-2024. Ronald Bachetao, a second-year pharmacy student, beat Kaguru Bernard and Kasaga Emmanuel to become guild president.
And I'm here today aspiring for office of the guild president. This very evening, we shall have the results of elections announced, and I hope I will come out the winner.
I did groundwork. I passed around, I asked for votes, I campaigned, so I'm confident that what I did can make me the guild president.
I want to congratulate CIU, not Bachetao, for reaching this opportunity to have a new transit, a new experience of perfect leadership. It has been a strong journey.
Happy on behalf of the international students. I'm the president for the South Sudan Student Association at Clark International University. We are so much happy for this election. It has been fair, and this is what we like CIU to go ahead with. Thank you.
Bachetao expressed gratitude to his voters.
Wow, it's a great evening. As you see, some of my supporters behind and fellow students at Clark International University. It's really a great evening in the history of CIU that I can be the next guild president-elect, and fully shall be sworn in as the guild president for the year 2023-2024. There are no words that can express my happiness, but I've always told you that tough times have always required great men, and since my childhood age, this is what I've been always having up to.
Having student leadership, I feel, is one way to empower these learners as they come from, secondary school into adulthood in the real environment out there. They gain a lot of skills in leadership, how to manage in times of challenges, how to face them, how to deal with colleagues, because definitely there are always ups and downs as they relate with one another, but they gain a lot of skills in these leadership roles.
The students had earlier expressed their opinion on the type of leaders they need.
Our competence, our ability, and how capable are they to take us through the coming journey, we as the Clark International University. So basically we are looking at leaders that are honest.
The students' guild leadership in higher institutions of learning helps in advocating for the welfare of students and fronting their aspirations to the administration. Adia Nakute, UBC.
Now, this has been communicated by the State Minister of Gender and Culture, Peace Mutuzo, while presiding over as the guest of honor for the belated International Women's Day celebrations in Chikube District. Minister Mutuzo says men have abandoned their responsibilities in the upbringing of children and the general welfare of the family.
The Minister of State for Gender, Peace Mutuzo, says though women have been empowered, they are facing a hurdle of taking care of their families. Peace Mutuzo says children no longer complete school because men don't follow up what children do at school. The minister has further asked women to be creative in order to increase on their household income. The woman member of parliament for Chikube district, Florence Natumanya, says the district lacks enough ambulances, which puts the lives of expectant mothers at a risk. However, Chikube district leaders want government to think about the over 1,000 people who were evicted by the office of the Prime Minister and have been internally displaced at the office of the RDC for a year now.
wakazi watakusomera omwana kumalira na ngamusomero runo mzee na ngamusomero mwana na mtela mkasomero kandi kando kuti kahara ubundo kusomesa mkasomesa kuti abasenta mgaruke masomero mororera abana mgana mahondere.
Other leaders in the district appreciate women for being brave and for standing for their families. They have further asked women to stand for their rights and encourage mediation in their homes before running to authorities. Some of the women at the belated International Women's Day celebration in Chikube district say that it is worth celebrating because of what they have achieved, but they are only lagging in technology. The belated International Women's Day for Chikube has been celebrated under the theme Digital Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality.
Jerry con. Jerry con. Hey, Master Blaster. Touch him, man. Bang Jerry con with muscle. Those ones who say go for you only. Mundava. First group is I teach you. But never come up with the squad. Because of the cover is very far. Is you serious? Is serious you? What? Yeah? You step it on it. Add kilometers to your legs and you get your sugar. We buy meat from Umaru and Umaru refused to give you enough meat. Mama! Show him that they don't joke with you. Umaru,
okukakaluka n'okulungi kwetagako omuntu akuyambako n'olwekyo tujja kukuteerawo embeera esaanidde osobole okukola ekisinga awamu teri kitulema.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
Their support meant so much to me. And as a teenage girl, I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sawuti 116.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Iwakato, this is a quick call. I'm almost out of minutes.
Why rush through such important conversations? Airtel Uganda has made it possible for you to call across all networks in Uganda at the best rates with the new Bona voice bundles. Stay connected anytime, anywhere, with minutes valid for calls on all networks. Dial *100*1#. Select voice bundles and select Bona voice bundles today. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. Let's continue with UBC News Tonight, where in our business stories, the Ballet Wildlife Zoo is fostering wildlife conservation through education. Now, set up in 2016, the Eco-Tourist Lodge and Zoo that overlooks the picturesque Wanale Hill and its breathtaking waterfalls is appreciated by the community.
Located on the slopes of Wanale Hill in Ballet City is the Kumbale Ecotourism Lodge and a privately owned zoo under the same management. Established 7 years ago,
This facility is unique, and what it offers is a niche product in the eastern region of the country.
So you're welcome to Ballet Eco-Tourist Lodge. This is premises, so wonderful, grass-thatched accommodation. Just right here, as you see, we have the falls. The other side, we have up here a bar and restaurant. And so when you visit us at Ballet Eco-Tourist Lodge, you have a wonderful time.
According to the management team and the guides, the zoo is playing a crucial role in fostering wildlife conservation through education. With over 30 species of wildlife, Kumbale works in concert with relevant authorities and is fully licensed to operate.
Here we are in touch with the Uganda Wildlife Education Center, Conservation and Education Center in Entebbe, that most of the times they send their students here to carry out research. Because of recent breeding colobus monkey in exhibit, it has not been there, but in Kumbale Wildlife Education Center we have managed, and now we have at least 2 baby ones being born in this place.
It was set up to offer an affordable alternative to the Uganda Wildlife Education Center, located about 250 kilometers away in Entebbe.
Kumbale Eco-Tourist Lodge, as you hear the word tourist, it's a place that was designed to give a good tourist experience to customers here in the region, in eastern Uganda, Mbale.
Some of the major attractions of the Mbale Wildlife Zoo are the Uganda cobs, camels, snakes, different species of monkeys, cats, and the fastest bird on 2 legs, the ostrich.
Dana! Okay, you're welcome. Come on.
The ostrich. Now that the schools are closed for holidays, the Mbale Zoo has gates opened. Therefore, spare some time and enjoy the incredible opportunity to get close to the animals and also enjoy other amenities such as accommodation, hiking, and sightseeing.
In more stories, business women in northern Uganda have been challenged to tap into the virgin business opportunities the region has. Now, this was remarked by a renowned businessman in Uganda, Patrick Bitature, and other business stakeholders during the Northern Uganda Women in Business and Investment Summit at Lake Confidential Hotel in Arawas District. We're so sorry about that mishap, but we will have more details on that story. In more news, the National Agricultural Research Organization has been tasked to invest in more in agricultural research to address the emerging issues which affect farmers. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Major David Kasura Chomkama, was officiating the handover ceremony of the 4th Director General now.
Dr. Ambrose Agwin has been the Director General National Agricultural Research Organization for the last 10 years.
Today, we recognize the trailblazing on 3 vaccines, the tick vaccine, we look at FMD vaccine, we're also looking at African swine fever, and we're going to open a new castle. Mr. Pierce, we have this in place, we can't go on further, but the most important interesting thing, all these were established during my tenure.
Agwina highlights some of the challenges Naro is still faced with, like inadequate funding, which leads to low work output.
Lack of predictable and committed funding for the research. 2, declining funding level. 3, asymmetric flow of information. 4, climate change and vulnerability. 5, enhance and increase equality in engagement in entrepreneurship. 6, self-development. 7, intellectual fertility.
The new Director General Naro, Dr. Yona Baguma, has ascended to the new position and pledged to work closely with the team to boost agriculture production.
Tonight, I, Dr. Yona Baguma, officially certify and affirm that I accept the position of Naro Director General. I fully understand the work that needs to be done and pledge to perform my duties in that capacity in order to accomplish Naro's purpose. To be able to lead effectively and rely on the assistance of the Naro Governing Council.
The Permanent Secretary, Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Major David Kasura Chwamukama, tasked the new Director General to intensify agriculture research to transform agriculture.
Research is critical. It's a critical part of the planning for agriculture. It's critical, it's the most critical of the elements. Because if we agree that agriculture is science, it's based on science, it's based on technology, then knowledge is the critical factor that changes everything.
Naro Governing Council members welcomed the new Director General and highlighted areas where emphasis should be put first.
But also we are looking forward significant achievements in transformation of land, water, energy, and food systems. And my words are significant achievements. Our task with you, incoming DG, is that we want significant achievements. Things we can say, 1, 2, 3, we achieved this during our time.
Mary Namkose, Irene Faith Natongo, UBC News.
Buyers of agricultural inputs are urged to take the frontline role in combating counterfeits in the Ugandan market. During the launch of Fake is Fake campaign in Ballet City, various stakeholders raised concerns about risks of counterfeits to livelihoods, human health as well as livestock health. The Fake campaign, supported by USAID under its Feed the Future activity, seeks to improve agricultural production through sensitizing the agro-input subsector.
The surge in counterfeit agro-inputs is a big concern to Uganda's economy and livelihood. Fake agro-inputs affect an entire value chain, right from the farmers to the consumers, and its adverse effects include reduction in productivity, loss of trust, lower demand for high-quality inputs, and reduction in earnings for producers.
At the end of the day, there's a few major groups that are impacted by the effects of counterfeit inputs. One would be the businesses, the private sector who are trying to sell genuine products. They suffer because they're not getting their products out, they're not getting the prices that they deserve, and they're losing out to a lot of the informal businesses. The second group would be the farmers. The farmers are really suffering as well. As we saw from a skit that was performed earlier today, you could see the reality when a farmer is unintentionally using counterfeit inputs. They will suffer from a poor yield.
Fake is Fake campaign, launched in Ballet City, is a proactive effort by various stakeholders and development partners whose goal is to tackle the challenge head-on.
This is a main problem, and its impact on productivity, its impact on health, especially for the agrochemicals, is massive. And unless we do something, a concerted effort to tackle it, it will continue to hinder our progress towards commercial agriculture in Uganda.
To reach wider masses and change mindset, the campaign has an appealing approach, using local musicians and community radio stations as a medium of sending content and communication.
Value addition. There is no way we can continue with value addition if we don't deal with the fakeness from the grassroots. from the farmer level.
The establishment of regional fixed desk and the introduction of agro-inputs digital verification codes are expected to complement the drama skits and music.
Basically, a fixed desk is a reporting mechanism, a redress mechanism. On the desk, we have put all the stakeholders, we brought them together.
However, there is a general appeal by the concerned parties of a buy-in by ordinary people in order to make headway in fighting the vice.
Our prayer is that all those who are having a stake in this can come together and we create a momentum towards curtailing counterfeits in Uganda.
Yes. Dennis Igoa for UBC Business.
Fake is fake.
The Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development has warned employers against sexually harassing their workers. The Commissioner for Children and Youth Affairs, Chateka Mwondo, was officiating the training for inclusive access to girls' education in technical, vocational training and educational centres organised by the African Women's Development and Communication Network, FEMNET, in Kampala City.
Women were not involved in vocational and technical works as they were regarded for the masculine gender. However, over centuries, as different institutions and training centers have offered these subjects without excluding girls.
And to do anything, so I decided to apply for security within the institution, Lugogo Vocation Training Institute, whereby I could go for work every day. But principal looked at me as a younger girl, that then he had that mentor that this lady shouldn't be here because she's still young and she really still have the chances of doing what? Upgrading on her education since she has already her certificate in O level. So principal couldn't just leave me like that. He came upon me, he called upon me and he was like, you go and apply.
Actually, I chose electrical installation because I was inspired by my brother.
However, despite this, many have still failed to change this attitude, which is opposed by education authorities and the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development.
I also see a challenge of the gender biases and norms. But I just want to assure you people, the gender biases and norms must be put on the side.
FEMNET, an NGO which aims to change lives of girls and women, has organized a training inclusive access to girls' education in technical, vocational training and education centers, months after government launched the new lower secondary school curriculum.
We spoke to the girls over the last 3 days because we want solutions for girls that come from the girls. We want the girls to speak up for themselves on issues affecting them. We want to know why aren't girls in TVET institutions, and we want to know why they are not completing, and the whole cycle. We need the whole cycle to be complete because we need our girls to be skilled.
However, some of the girls who attended the training cited challenges they face in learning these technical and vocational courses.
There is expensive training materials. Honestly, I come from a poor background. I'm doing carpentry. I cannot afford some materials, but the institution says that is the role of the parents.
The Commissioner in charge of Children and Youth Affairs at the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Chateka Mwondo, has warned the employers against sexually harassing the feminine gender and cautioned the victims to seek help from concerned entities.
Abuse, sexual exploitation, once reported within the laws of Uganda and not hiding from anybody, it can be taken on. You can be charged under courts of law. We have also gone ahead to encourage institutions of higher learning to report cases where there is gender, because by virtue of being girls, oftentimes some lecturers may want to exploit them.
The government was applauded for her support in spearheading technical and vocational studies, as this is the way to go.
But at the end of it all, they graduate, they are so happy, everybody is happy, the parents are coming to take photos with them, but we have no equipment to give them. We have no startup capital to give them. And I appreciate the Presidential Skilling Initiative. For it at least, the girls have been catered for. Once the girls have completed the training, they go into, the President has put aside for them a small package.
I'm Ivan Juko for UBC.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello?
Hello?
This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey, you don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions, and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number, and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it?
Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tofera, refrain from unnecessary engagement with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Glow as you are with the new Spark 10 series smartphone from Airtel in partnership with Tecno. Own the timelines with picture-perfect selfies using the 32-megapixel selfie camera, 256 GB storage, G88 gaming processor, and a strong battery to last the whole day. Haha! Toakana.
The Spark 10 smartphone comes with free 3 GB from Airtel and 100% bonus on weekly and monthly bundles every month for 3 months. So you can stay connected to a world of possibilities. Dial *100 *5# to enjoy free data. The new Spark 10 is available in all selected Tecno shops countrywide. Airtel, the smartphone network in partnership with Tecno. Stop at nothing.
In our sports stories, the Ministry of Education and Sports has committed itself to promoting co-curricular activities and talents in learning institutions across the country. Take a look.
The Director Education and Social Services at Kampala Capital City Authority, Juliet Nambi Namudu, has applauded Kampala City Grammar Primary School Mutundu for fostering co-curricular activities and promotion of talents among learners.
This school is only 1 term old, but they already have a good number of learners. The children are presenting very well. The messages that they're giving to the community are amazing. They're talking about protecting the girl child, protecting women, going to school, having fun. So it's a lot of information that the learners are sharing with their parents today, and I'm happy to be here. I'm amazed at the nursery school children and how they're capable of presenting themselves without necessarily being supported by their teachers. It's a very good learning growth, and I'm happy that they are doing all these things for our children.
This was at the school's Cultural Day Gala for pupils of Kampala City Grammar Primary School in Mutundwe.
Ye tulina okutendeka okw'abaana okuviira ddala wansi ku nnono. Omwana okumanya obuwangwa, culture, okumanya ennono ya ng'amwalina okutambula despite of the academics, naye amanye wawasibuka okumanya tribe ye kyekuza ng'ekikulu. Kumanya culture kubanga buli kimu kati ngaffe mu Buganda tumanya nti omusajja ayambala kanzu ne kooti ng'agenda mu bakadde gye bazaala omukyala. Tulina bannaffe ab'omu Western basuulako omushanana ne twawulawo buli lwagwambala amanya nti nno nze nva mu Western.
Innovation through sports, talent and culture have been fundamentals of the Ministry of Education and Sports towards a meaningful future of learners. I'm Ivan Juko for UBC.
Thank you so much for watching UBC News Tonight with me, Sharon Chomch. Have a lovely night and a blessed night for you. Bye-bye.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.